Ma'am.
Come.
Morning, sir. Morning, ma'am. Morning, sir.
Good morning.
Come, Dheeraj. Have a seat.
Thank you, sir.
So, you are based in Uttarakhand?
Yes.
Where?
Sir, I'm from Dronagiri village in Niti Valley of Chamoli district.
Chamoli district.
Yes.
Okay. Chamoli falls in uh, which area?
Sir, it is the northernmost part of the state. It shares boundary with the Tibet region of China as well.
Okay. All right. Uh, you are a you are a doctor?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Please tell us something about yourself.
Sir, my name is Dheeraj Singh Kanwa, and I've done my schooling from Saint Teresa Senior Secondary School, Karodam, and MBBS from Maulana Azad Medical College, New Delhi. And my hobbies are playing football, chess, and watching stand-up comedy.
Very good. And I also saw that you carry any disability. You have not opted for any of the forces.
Yes, sir. Unfortunately, I have color blindness, and
Oh, you have color blindness.
yes, sir.
That's why you have not opted for
Yes, sir. Full
that. Okay. All right. So that was one of the things that I wanted to understand. So, what is the relevance of Nabi Dhang?
So relevance of?
Nabi Dhang. Have you heard of Nabi Dhang?
No, sir. I'm
No.
sorry, sir. I'm not heard of it.
Okay. Have you heard of Om Parvat?
Om Parvat, yes, sir. I have.
Where is that?
Sir, again, but I'm not exactly
That
aware
is that is the area you come from.
about it. Yes.
So you don't know.
Sorry, sir. I'll read about it.
Read about it. So, do you know about the Kailash Mansarovar pilgrimage yatra
Yes, sir.
that starts?
Yes.
Where does it start in Uttarakhand?
Sir, again, I'm in my limited knowledge. It starts from Uttarakhand. Starts from Pithoragarh district, and there is also proposal that from Chamboli district as well that it should start from this region as well.
From Chamoli also.
Yes, sir.
They want to start from that side.
Yes.
Okay. And do you know an accident took place long back involving a celebrity? Are you aware of that?
Sir, I'll have to get. I'll need more details to exactly.
You no, then so I'll have to tell who died and what happened in the floods. So you have no idea about that. Anyway,
Yes, sir.
anyway, let's forget about it. You have done your MBBS from MAMC,
Yes, sir.
such a prestigious school, and you want to join the civil service and not pursue medicine.
Yes.
You passed out in 2020, and you have 3 years you have not practiced at all.
Yes, sir. I have been preparing full time for civil services.
Then why did you do MBBS? Where was the need for you to do that?
Sir, initially I wanted to become a doctor, and the idea of civil services came much later during my graduation.
Why? When did it come and why?
Sir, it came during my third year when I was dealing with when I was actually seeing the challenges in the healthcare setup. And also I was not aware about the civil service before my graduation. I became aware about the civil service only during my graduation, and that's when I realized that civil services provides a much larger opportunity to work, as well as the leadership opportunities are there in early part of the career as well, and so that will help me in providing much larger providing much larger work or serving in a much larger way in the society. And in
Okay.
yes,
Okay. Uttarakhand
yes.
is in the news today. For what?
Sir, it is supposed that UCC bill will be passed in the assembly, or it will be presented in the assembly today.
It will be introduced in the assembly today,
Yes.
right? Can you give me the broad contours of?
Sorry, sir,
yeah, please. So, can you give me the broad contours of the bill that is going to be presented today?
Yes, sir. Sir, the initial reports as per that have come in the newspaper is that the UCC will seek the UCC that is being presented in the Uttarakhand Assembly will seek to promote more gender inclusivity, and also it will exempt the tribal sections of the society, and the the triple talaq or the halala system will be removed, and a uniform age for the marriage will be recommended, as well as there will be mandatory registration of the live-in relationships. And yes, these are the details that I'm
Any
aware.
properties, property divisions,
Sir,
property rights?
I'm not aware about the property.
So that you are coming from Uttarakhand, and that's the most critical thing which is set, which will set the benchmark for rest of the country.
Sir, the demand for land or bhukanun is a different different issue with.
Are you sure about it?
Yes, sir. So bhukanun is a different demand.
Anyway, all right.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
What are neglected tropical diseases?
Yes, sir. So these are the diseases which are prevailing in the lower income countries or the developing countries, and as such our healthcare, because the healthcare system is mostly funded by the developed countries, so these are the diseases which are being neglected. For example, filariasis, all the kala azar, which are even prevalent in India.
What about diseases like dengue and similar diseases?
Yes, sir. Sir, all the most of the infectious diseases do come under.
And why do these kind of diseases happen mainly in tropical regions and not elsewhere?
Sir, environmental conditions do play a big role in these spread of these diseases. So, for example, for dengue, monsoon season is and the presence of water provides the breeding ground for the mosquitoes. And similarly, in poor or lower income countries where there is issue of sanitation, that is also a big concern regarding
Are
these diseases.
the majority of NTDs, are they preventable?
Yes, sir, they are preventable. Even we are working towards the preventing and eradicating them from the country. And for that, sir, we have to various steps can be taken. For example, the vector first would be the vector management, and eliminating the breeding grounds, and preventing. Second would be that preventing the bite of the mosquitoes, like for example, insecticides.
All right. Now, during COVID, the vaccine, Covishield or
Yes.
whatever it was, now I took 2 doses and I got a very severe bout of COVID after 2 doses.
Yes.
So how is it a vaccine? Vaccine, from my understanding, is that it will prevent. I did whatever I was told. I was careful. I wore mask. I took both the doses on time, and I had a very severe attack of COVID.
Sir, COVID vaccines, because they were prepared in a very small of time, and because COVID is a virus, so there were there were conditions that it would evolve, and so the immunity that will be given by the vaccine will be lowered, and that would and secondly, sir, the vaccine was also effective in reducing the morbidity or mortality in the cases.
But from whatever you're saying, is it correct to call it a vaccine?
So yes, the vaccine also, the main property of the vaccine is that it will also lead to production of antibodies in the body, and production of antibodies was there. However, because the virus was evolving and mutations were there, so it was generating new types of proteins against which antibodies were not in the vaccines.
My last question.
Yes.
As a doctor, define medical negligence. I don't want the legal definition. What do you think is medical negligence?
So medical negligence would be when the doctor is not following the standard operating procedures in the condition as per the law, and he is or invariably or without invariably some mistakes are there during his while conducting the procedure.
Is a mistake equal to negligence?
Sir, mistake with the right, where the intention was right and then certain mishap has occurred. So that would be included in the negligence.
All right, thank you. Then-
Dheeraj,
Yes.
you have done your MBBS from Maulana Azad Medical College. Yeah?
Yes.
Can you tell me something about Maulana Azad
Yes.
and his contribution?
Sir, Maulana Azad was one of the freedom fighters of the country, and he was also the first education minister of the country. And he was very important part of the non-cooperation movement or civil disobedience movement, and even the Quit India movement, and a strong voice for the Hindu-Muslim unity in the country.
Okay. So now you have completed, after that you did something post PG or something after MBBS?
And no, sir, I have been preparing for the exam since then.
Okay. Have you heard about this HPV vaccine? What
Yes.
is that?
Sir, it will be a HPV vaccine is a vaccine to provide protection against the cervical cancers, which is one of the leading causes of death among causes of cancer death among the women in India.
How it works? How it works?
Yes,
Can you give me some more details?
Sir, HPV is one of the leading risk factors for cervical cancers, particularly HPV 16 and 18. And so the vaccine produces immunity against certain high-risk HPV subtypes. And so that,
In what age group normally it is given?
so the vaccine will be given in 9 to 14 years of age.
Not after that.
So it can be given even after that, but the program that we are conducting will be focusing on this age group. However, the vaccine can be given even before, even in the young adults as
How
well.
it is transmitted, this virus, how it transmits?
Sir, HPV virus transmits due to certain factors are there.
You give me main reason.
Sir, it is a sexually transmitted virus.
So, and you are saying it is for 9 to 14 only.
Yes, sir.
So whether your statement matches with that?
So we are providing antibodies before the before the exposure of the patient people with that virus, so that it will be more effective in that cases. If we are providing vaccines after the exposure of virus in the sexually active groups, the effect may not be as effective. It will not be as effective.
Okay, you have also mentioned watching stand-up comedy.
Yes.
Yeah. What do you like about it? What is special about comedy, stand-up comedy, which you think attracts the people more?
So firstly, as it is said, laughter is the best medicine. It always helps in reducing stress or uplifting the mood. And secondly, sir, particularly stand-up comedy provides a lot of observations. The comedians have particular observations which are different and unique, and they provide funny situations even out of the day-to-day situations. And that is very exciting from an intellectual point of view.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Tell me, did you read the budget?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me what are the takeaways from that budget? On which areas we are going to focus and what are the takeaways? As a medical profession also you can elaborate.
The main focus of because it was an interim budget, the main focus was on providing.
Why it was an interim budget?
And because there will be general elections in this year.
Okay. So what is the process? What do we do in the interim budget?
We provide budget only for the initial months. It is a vote on account process.
Right.
And so expenditure is provided for that months. And the main focus of this interim budget was on fiscal consolidation. And the main, as such, government has not introduced any new fiscal measures. And in particularly health, the budget of Ayushman Bharat Yojana has been increased to 75,000 crores. And also there is a focus on new medical colleges. Apart from that, the Ayushman Bharat Jan Arogya Yojana vaccination coverage will be increased to all the ASHA workers and Anganwadi workers.
Very good. Anything about a vaccine? I'm just giving you a
Yes,
clue.
ma'am. HPV vaccine will also be included in the, will be rolled out in 3 phases in the country.
Right. And who would be the beneficiaries?
Ma'am, 9 to 14 years of age, girls will be the beneficiaries in this.
So why I have to coax you? You have to say the full answer, isn't it? Now, if we talk about Uttarakhand, you know, what would be, you know, what was the modus operandi to introduce the bill? Before that, some groundwork has been done. What was that related to Uniform Civil Code?
Ma'am, a committee was formed under former justice. I'm not able to recollect the name, but a
No
committee
problem.
was formed, and various the recommendations of different sections of the society, different religious groups, all the suggestions were welcomed, and then these suggestions were processed by the committee, evaluated, and then only a draft recommendation of the committee has been put forward. And now the government has accepted, state government has accepted the draft recommendations. So today they will be introducing the bill in the assembly.
Most of the states have, you know, after the union budget, most of the states are also passing their budget, you know. So, has the Uttarakhand government done that as yet or not?
No, ma'am, the government has not yet
Presented the budget?
budget. Yes.
Okay. If we go back to the budget, what is there for the electric vehicles? What little push has been there? Can you tell me about that? If you remember. No,
No, ma'am.
doesn't matter. Let's talk about the solar thing.
Yes, ma'am.
That is quite optimistic. Tell me.
Ma'am, government is focusing rooftop solar schemes, and exact name I'm not able to recall.
Doesn't matter. Studio there.
Yes, ma'am. Focuses on the increasing the coverage of the solar rooftop schemes, and for that incentives will be given, as well as to ensure that the production of the solar rooftop continues, because that was an issue in the earlier stages, earlier schemes. So the citizens will be provided, people will be given electricity benefits. Bill will be reduced, and
No, if you produce your own electricity, where is the question of bill? If you produce what you need, and if you produce surplus, what will happen to that?
ma'am, I will read about it in detail.
You don't have to pay if you produce your own electricity, isn't it? It's a common sense. And what you produce in surplus will be bought back.
Yeah,
And you
ma'am,
can
yes, ma'am.
still earn.
This form will provide.
You can
refunds
still
for
make some money out of it if you produce in surplus, right? Now, one more question from railways. How do you see the Vande Bharat train? Because we are now very optimistic. We will produce more coaches, do this, that. More trains will be converted into Vande Bharat. What is the big story about it? Very briefly, Dheeraj.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, in the budget also we have targeted that more coaches, the existing trains will also be made more in the form of Vande Bharat. And the main reason is that the coaches in that are the design are.
What are the two features for which we are trying to convert old coaches also into Vande Bharat coach? Tell me two important, why we are so keen to convert old coaches also into that.
Ma'am, I'm not able to recall.
No problems. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dheeraj,
Yes.
your state is having international borders. With which countries?
Sir, we have borders with the Tibet region of China and Nepal in the eastern way.
I am happy to see that you are using the phrase Tibet region of China. So, what is the dispute going on with Nepal?
So with Nepal, there is a territorial dispute regarding the Lipu Lake region, and the main issue in this is regarding the origin of the Kali River. India claims the origin to be on the eastern aspects, and whereas Nepal claims it to be on the western aspect of the river.
Tributary.
Yes.
Western tributary, Eastern tributary.
Yes.
Which treaty covered this?
Sir, it was covered under Treaty of Sagoli.
Sugali. Okay. Uh, tell me, how can your knowledge in medical science be used in the Ministry of External Affairs if you join the IFS?
Sir, my medical knowledge, medical knowledge will be helpful in certain aspects. For example, the various health practices that are prevalent in other countries can be introduced in my country, as well as the better healthcare schemes that we have. The best practices can be uh, there can be a mutual exchange program wherein we are sharing the best practices. And apart from that, sir, the medical skills that we gain during the graduation, for example, the skill of communication or empathy, that will also help me in engaging more in conversation.
You don't want to use the phrase that India wants to become the pharmacy of the world?
Yes, sir.
And you also do not want to use the phrase that India wants to be a leader in the South-South cooperation?
Yes, sir. India wants to be a leader of the global South.
Okay. Under South-South cooperation, there is a very particular scheme under which assistance is provided to other countries, developing countries from India, under the Ministry of External Affairs. Do you know that program? Have you read about that program?
Sorry, sir, I'm not
It's called ITEC program. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, what form of medicine? I mean, ITEC program is running since 1960s. Okay, and recently, medicine has become one of the important factors of assistance being provided. What can you think of ways to assist other developing countries in medical sciences that India is doing right now?
Sir, first would be that generic medicines would
Generic
be,
medicine, one.
and second, sir, we can also equipment,
Equipment, two.
medical equipments can be given.
Okay.
And thirdly, sir, knowledge
Knowledge in what way?
through we can
Telemedicine.
telemedicine, or we can also build colleges in.
That's fine. The last thing, what is the reason of the popularity of the stand-up comedy?
Sir, first would be that because laughter is always good and people always
That's
seek
a very
laugh.
generic
Yes.
statement. No need to give that.
Sir, apart from that, second would be the increased access of people due to free YouTube and digital platforms. So access has improved, and it is a new art form. So people always want more different varieties of entertainment.
What percent of popularity of a stand-up comedian comes through on-stage performance, and others part will be on-screen performance? In your opinion, of course, there cannot be any. In your judgment, what percent of his popularity comes from on-stage performance as compared to on-screen performance?
Sir, in my opinion, the most majority is through on screen.
Yeah.
Even though off screen experience is very different, but on screen helps in
Okay.
reaching wider audience.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. So, Dheeraj,
Yes.
you're done with your formal interaction with us.
Thank
So, how do you think you did?
Sir, not up to the mark in various. Initially, I was very nervous. I don't know why. I was sweating.
And you were sweating.
Yes, sir.
What caused the sweat?
Sir, I don't know. It was.
I thought that you ran up the stairs and just
Reached in time.
reached in time to
No.
enter the room. No.
No, sir. I was there 5
But you
minutes.
broke sweat. I didn't ask you any difficult questions. I was just talking about your.
So probably I was nervous, and
How many mocks have you had?
sir, I have given 3 to 4 marks.
3 to 4 mocks, and this is your first interview.
So last year I gave interview.
Last year also you gave interview for
Yes,
the
sir.
civil services? Oh, you didn't notice in that. Anyway, but what was your score?
So last year it was 157.
157. And you missed the call by how many marks?
So 12 marks.
Just 12 marks. So how were the mains this time?
Sir, better than.
Better than last time. And interview, you hope that it will be better?
So yes, this year I am much better prepared than.
I hope you don't have to pull out your handkerchief to wipe your brow.
Sir, this was also first time where I broke the sweat.
Broke the sweat.
Yes.
My God, I never thought that I could bring so much of pressure on some candidate. I never knew that. Anyway, but you were awesome. You were good, and you come from the premier institute of the country, and therefore getting into that and your intelligence is never questioned. One, this interaction, we are not looking for your knowledge.
Yes.
If you don't know a particular thing, you have not read about a particular thing, understandably. Okay? But what we are looking at is the composure of the person.
Yes.
Not a person who goes to his boss and starts wiping his
Yes.
forehead because of the sweating. All right. Anyway, but it's a one-off thing and it won't recur to you. It has not happened. So maybe you are in a frame of mind that you
Sir, I was nervous while entering, and when I started, I knew that sweat was it will come because
It
it
will
was
come.
it had
Okay.
initiated when I just said.
no problems about it. No problems about it. But you must remember one thing. Unlike so many other people, unlike so many other candidates, you are employable even if you are not a civil servant.
Thank you, sir.
People look forward to a doctor. There are so many job opportunities open, and it is not end of the world for a medical doctor,
Yes.
right? So you must remember that. It should not cause you any anxiety. One. Two, you were, as we said, you were very good. You were articulate. Your eye contact was excellent. You could engage others also,
Yes.
right? When he was talking about the diseases, you could look at the whole board, and you could talk, right? And please don't use the phrase limited knowledge.
Yes.
Why should we recruit a person who has limited knowledge also, who proclaims his inadequacy?
Yes.
No. I mean, don't you think it would be a better expression if you said, as far as I know?
Yes.
You are not saying, I don't know, but at the same time, you are saying the same thing. So, by saying, as far as I know, it's a glass half full. Try do that, right? And he asked you a question. You started, sir, it is like, then you paused. Then you again started. Don't jump to answer immediately. Listen to the question, process it, put your thoughts in order, and answer. It will take you a fraction of a second, and the board can wait for that time. Instead of just blurting out, stopping, thinking, and responding. So the option that I'm offering you probably is better.
Yes.
When is your interview?
Sir, it's on 22nd February.
Oh, you are ready for it. You are ready for it. Just as that, think more on the current affairs, budget, your state. The KM Yatra goes through your area. So no harm in knowing that what happened on the way, right?
Yes.
And Lipu Lake Pass. So I think you are there. You are quite prepared, and you are properly dressed. You could pull your tie a bit more towards your collar. That's the only thing that comes to my mind. Otherwise, you are a very good candidate. Be positive.
Yes.
Don't worry about entering the interview board.
Yes.
You have done it last time, so why should you be anxious? Okay,
Yes.
you will definitely get more marks this time. All the very best to you.
Thank you.
Okay, you have any questions?
Sir, regarding
Yep.
knowledge aspect also, only that certain areas I am not very confident that
Like,
depth of knowledge, like I am aware about the issues, but in many areas my depth is not there.
you see, देखो, current affairs is such a vast area. You are not supposed to know everything in depth. You are not a professor. What we expect is that the person is aware and does he have knowledge which is not shallow. I mean, you say कि हाँ ऐसा है, but क्या है वो पता नहीं, वो नहीं चलेगा, right? You should know, and everything under the sun nobody is asking. You will be asked only about the things which are current and engaging the attention of the world and the country. Like the UCC. Please read it.
Yes.
People are going to ask you questions on that. Which are the other states who are now set up committees? What are the takeaways from this? What all is included in it? In the next few days, there will be articles and interviews
Yes.
and all. Be thorough with that, right? So don't worry if you have to say, I'm sorry, like you said, I don't know, ma'am, I'd like to read more about it. Perfect answer. It brings no discredit to you, right?
Yes.
So think about all these things. You will do very well. All the best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All the best. Which group has been excluded from the UCC in Uttarakhand?
Sir, tribal groups, all the tribal.
Okay. All the best.
Thank you, sir.
So they are targeting only one. They are targeting.